The first step in this is to add in your radiator flush. This is a 50:1 and it says to leave it in there for 10 to 30 minutes. So in your 8 litres, that's what's it, 1/5 of 800, whatever that is, 160 ml. So these are your 4 drain locations. It's your lower rad hose and spring clip. These 2 white and black spring clip for your secondary water pump. And over here is your auxiliary water pump, just above the sump line on the driver's side. The manual says to remove these, specifically this top one, but the spring clip is up here. I couldn't really get it off, so I just put this hose goes onto this pipe here, and you just pull that off a lot easier. Yeah, so you pull the 3 of them, clear out your, put some compressed air through your heater matrix, and that should be most of your coolant out. You need to remove the glove box, and there's a kick paddle here that will come out. Then your foot warmer, then there's the actuators, so you need to remove the 4 actuators up in here off the side of the ventilation unit, and the associated wiring clips. That stage you should have pretty good access to the bolts on the feed into the heater matrix. So you remove the clips off both of them. You want to blow it out with compressed air first from the engine bay, and put plenty of t-shirts and plastic bags and stuff here to stop the carpet getting soaked if there isn't. There will be some drips in it. I watched the video on it was a 2012 model, the pre-facelift, and a Welshman said that once you do all that, it'll slide straight out. I think the first issue I ran into was the bracket for the milk cooler in your glove box. I had to Dremel off the bracket. It's just that was sticking out. So you imagine the heater core has to come straight across here like that, and it bangs into it, so that had to go. Because I didn't want to take the dash out. I think this car maybe, climate control stuff, maybe has a bigger blower motor. His looks smaller. I thought I was snookered at that point. The way I got around it was to release this bolt and lie in the footwell with my back against the seat, push the blower motor forward that way as hard as I could, and pull on it, and it just scrapes out. it scrapes out here just about. Yeah, and the exact same to get it back in. Push hard on that, and it should give you just enough to scrape in the heater core without having to take the dash out as per Audi service manuals.
I'm not sure if any of these steps were necessary, but I just thought I'd mention them. I removed the bolt marked with the blue arrow, the wiring loom with the pink line. I took that up out of the way. You probably want to do that in case you snag it. As I said, it's very tight. The heater core will kind of scrape along all that, where that wire loom is. The green arrow marks the clip to remove your cabin filter. Remove that, not sure if it's necessary. And I removed the yellow the connector marked with the yellow arrow from the back of the blower motor. I'm not sure if that needs to be done, but I done it anyway. Kind of give yourself as much wiggle room and flexibility in the system as you can. Possibly, I think that bolt marked with the blue arrow might have freed it up a bit and made the blower filter assembly a bit more independent of the actual HVAC system with the heater core. All that part of it in behind the radio.
Took out the G13 and put in this Vico V065, which is the G12 Evo equivalent. You can see here the most important thing is, because we've removed the silica bag, you need a ethylene glycol, replacing the old glycerin G12, supplemented with silicates and phosphates. That's because of all the aluminium in these engines. You need to make sure you're getting a nice amount of corrosion protection in there every 4 years. So filling it up here, I put in 4.25 litres of coolant and a litre and a half of water, and I'm applying a vacuum to the top of the reservoir. If you put a vacuum on it and squeeze this, you can see that hose is staying collapsed. It's a good sign there's no leaks in the system. Like that, a few minutes, I've burped the bottom and top hose, and if you release that, you can see it's, you can hear there, it's holding the vacuum nicely, and the hose comes back up to round. A bit of water in. I usually just fill it up to the base of the neck here. So 6 and a bit litres. So I've run the VCS coolant bleed on both the high and low temp circuit. The high temp circuit, the coolant level didn't really drop at all, but it did on the cold temp, which I presume is the intake manifold filling up at the top of the engine. I've noticed that before. Not my first time bleeding this engine. dealing with this blocked heater matrix problem. So yeah, happy enough with that. I'm going to let it cool. I've just put the glove box back on. I'm going to put the lower under tray on, and that should be that. I'll open the reservoir, then top it back up, run the low temp bleed once more, and that should be good to go. Maybe one more top up after that. Topped it up. Be another half a litre gone in since I thought it was bled. So you do end up very close to 8 litres in total if you drain the full system, which puts the 3.8 litres of coolant that I put in about spot on. Probably a bit high for Ireland. Gets down now, it never gets below -5 here, but happy with that now. I just threw some water into this, poured it in. You can see the goo that comes out of it. Sort of flaky stuff. See what's kind of blocking it up, just pure gunk. Wonder will it clean out, but probably not worth it. So it's been 2 weeks now. Just gotta check the coolant. Sure it's still okay. Yeah, so as you can see there, you can still see the kind of the little cross-shaped guy on the left pretty clearly. It's not as clear in the video. Before, this coolant was going soupy straight away, meaning there was stuff trapped in the system. So the flush seems to have done its job, the whole procedure. Very happy with that. No leaks.